Hello everyone and welcome back to Animation Pilgrimage, the show where Tennille and I take a look at every single theatrically released animated film in chronological order. I am Whitney.
I'm Tennille.
And today we are still in Japan in the year of 1981. We'll never leave. We'll never ever leave. That's not true. We will eventually leave, and we are watching Jarinko Chie, aka Chie The Brat.
Yes.
This was produced by Toho, but most of the animation itself was actually done by Tokyo Movie Shinsha, who we have seen multiple times. Also, I just went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and I found out that Tokyo Movie Shinsha eventually rebrands as TMS Entertainment.
Oh.
Who are still doing stuff today.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, did not connect that these are the same company.
Tokyo Movie Shinsha to TMS.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like, they rebranded in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they've done so much stuff. Like, they've done some of the more recent Sonic shows, and...
Oh, okay.
I honestly just glanced at the list real quick, so...
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you. But yeah, they're still doing stuff.
Neat. So, when I first heard that we were doing this movie, I didn't know anything about it.
Same.
But, with the premise being kind of similar to Makoto-chan.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the movie we watched last week being what it was, I was a little like, oh, geez, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat down and we were like, oh, no, it's also an hour and 50 minutes long.
Yeah, it was long for not a space opera.
Yeah. But then... I had a big whiplash of emotions when I saw that it was directed by...
Isao Takahata.
Exactly.
The co-creator of Studio Ghibli.
Yes, and director of The Tale of Princess Kaguya, Grave of the Fireflies, and other such movies. And I was like, oh.
This might be better than we thought.
Oh, okay. That gives me some hope.
And then a half hour passed. And then an hour passed. And then an hour and 50 minutes passed, and I was happy.
I was too. This was fantastic, actually.
Yeah, like this, I was not expecting this when we went into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just like a very well-made slice of life film about people that have problems, but they're trying to work through it, and they don't spend a whole lot of time really focusing on the big issues.
Well, on trying to fix it, they're just trying to live their lives.
Yeah, and it's great.
It's really great. I enjoyed this a lot. It was quirky. It had characters that you both love and hate, and you love to hate them, or you like...
You're like, why can't you be better,
Why
please?
can't you be better, please? That would just make everything better.
Your family needs you.
Right. And even seeing all the characters in this, you love seeing them succeed at things. You like seeing them fail, because either way, it's just very entertaining and true to life.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed this.
Me too. Like, honestly, God, 81 is good. This is a good year. Like...
Mm-hmm.
We're not even halfway through the year, and I'm already like, well, shit.
How am I going to pick a favorite?
What is my top out of the year?
Right.
I mean, I think it's probably still Unico, but like, this is up there.
I don't know. This was really good. Gee, do you want to hop into a summary?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do a summary.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I'm going to go over every single plot synopsis of what happens, because it is still...
It's a slice of life film.
It's a slice of life film. It's mostly just about characters living their lives. And, I mean, things happen, and there are arcs here and there. But, like, this is about Chie, the brat.
Mm-hmm.
And she lives with her father, Tetsu, who she only refers to by his name, doesn't actually call him dad, because he's a layabout. He gambles a lot. He doesn't drink, but he fights people a lot, and he just doesn't help, and he's aggressive, and the only thing he really cares about is his daughter, which is good, but, like, he messes...
Not enough to, like, change, though.
No, he won't change to be better, and he messes stuff up for her constantly.
But he does He's like very proud of her at the same time.
Incredibly proud of her. And he wants her to be the best ever and stuff like that. Chie has to deal with his shit all the time while also running their bar.
Their business,
which is a bar, to make money. And also go to school.
Yeah, she's like 10.
Oh, yeah. She's like a small kid.
Yeah.
She's in, I would say, she's not even in middle school yet. She's definitely still in like elementary.
Right.
So like, 10, 11, maybe. So she's having to deal with all this shit. And like, they're obviously don't have a whole lot of money. And like, it's just the two of them. And it's just a
Her
mess.
grades suffer because she can't do homework.
She doesn't have time to study.
Yeah, because she's so busy taking care of the family.
But she like very clearly doesn't let any of that get to her. One of the things that starts the movie off is Tetsu goes gambling and then accuses the leader of the gambling ring of cheating, which then he gets in a fight with all of his bouncers. And then the gambling ring guy and his bouncers show up at Chie's bar and they're like, we're going to teach Tetsu a lesson. And then they get really drunk. And then the leader sicks his cat. What is his cat's name?
Antonio.
Yeah. He sicks his cat Antonio, who's killed a cow before, on Chie's cat, who is named Tetsuko. Kotetsu.
It was similar to her dad's name. That's why. Yeah, because it's Tetsu and Kotetsu.
Yes. So, sicks it on Kotetsu. Kotetsu rips off the other cat's ball.
Yeah.
Singular. One of his balls.
One. I will say, if you go into this film,
there's going to be a lot of cat balls.
There's cat balls.
A lot of it.
A lot of the time.
All the time. So, this scares them off because they need to get Antonio to a vet.
Right, because if there's one thing about this this ringleader guy is that he loves his cat.
He loves his cat more than anything else in the world.
Right, straight up says, like, if Antonio dies, that's my... Like,
I'll die too.
Yeah, like, this is my reason for living.
So he leaves. And then later, Chie runs into him again, and Antonio's dead.
Yeah.
Antonio got into a fight with a dog after fighting Kotetsu. And apparently he didn't have all of his strength and manliness because he was missing a ball. And he died. So he has him stuffed. And now he runs like a squid cake shop.
I forget what the actual word for it is.
It's on screen, but like it's a Japanese snack. It's a thing. It's like a pancake with like squid, like octopi bits in it and stuff.
Right. But since Antonio has died, this gambling ring guy has really turned his life around. Yeah.
He stopped drinking. He runs the shop. He doesn't cheat people in gambling. And he becomes a friend of the family, which is cool. The other like important thing that Chie does in her day-to-day life is every now and again she'll just go see her mom.
Yeah.
Because her mom is alive.
But
she left the family because presumably Tetsu is a shitty husband.
Yeah.
Because he's
I mean, it's pretty clear he's a shitty husband.
Oh, yeah. So, Chie keeps it secret. Like, and this is where, like, a lot of the complications of the movie come in, is, like, Chie loves her parents. Both of her parents love her. But her parents very clearly do not like each other.
Yeah.
And so they don't interact. And this is still set, I don't know, this might be set in, like, the 70s. Like, this feels like it's set in the 70s.
The manga that this is based off of won an award in 1981. So I can only presume that it started sometime in the 70s or earlier. I did not look into it specifically, but yeah.
I have the dates that it ran on screen now. I looked at this real briefly when I was taking my notes. And I think it started in the 70s and ran until the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, it ran for a while.
It was a really long-running manga. I think what you were going to get into was that, like, because of the time period it takes place...
A separated family is a big deal.
It's a big deal. And for us, you know, you just want to say, like, man, I wish Chie and her mom would just go off and live together. And, you know, maybe sometimes they can still see dad, but, like,
Just get away from this bad dad.
Yeah, because he's just not contributing to the family. But, like, because of the time period, you know that, like, it's more complicated than that.
It's a lot more complicated, especially in Japan, where you don't talk about family issues. You're supposed to be perfect. Everyone's supposed to be polite and quiet and not talk about things. That's how it is.
That's the cultural norm. Yeah. And what's sad is that Chie feels a personal responsibility to
Get her family
keep
back
her
together.
dad afloat.
Yeah.
Specifically. She, like, even Chie's mom kind of, like, says, like, I wish, like, Chie, why don't you come live with me? And Chie is like, no, I can't. I gotta be there for dad. And you're like, oh. But Chie, you know, you're a child. Your dad is not your responsibility. Anyway.
Eventually, the parents get forced back together by Tetsu's old teacher.
Who arranged their marriage to begin with.
Yeah, and so he's like, you two, get back together now. You're living together. You're going to do things as a family because you're a family. Celebrate. Now go have a good time.
At the amusement park.
And, like, obviously the parents don't want to be there with each other. And Chie is like, this sucks. And then they have a good time at the amusement park. But, like, as they're going home, Chie is asleep and the parents are just left to talk. And it's very clear that they're probably never going to love each other or anything like that again. But they're going to make this work.
For Chie. Yeah.
And, like, that's so sad and realistic and bittersweet.
Yeah. It's like this movie really was something. I really loved how it was able to show these issues without me just feeling frustrated at past social norms. I was just able to kind of be there with the characters in the moment and just, like, feel that same kind of bittersweet, dysfunctional sadness and
like, you get
pleasure it. And yeah, you just kind of get it, and it was really well done.
And then the movie wraps up with a plot of Antonio's son coming back and seeking revenge against Kotetsu.
Antonio the cat's son, just to be clear.
Yeah, Antonio the cat's son comes back and seeks revenge against Kotetsu for ripping off one of his dad's balls.
Yes.
So they go to the graveyard where Kotetsu buried the ball. And then he gets the shit beat out of him by Antonio Jr.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Antonio Jr.'s like, you're the better man because you didn't fight back and you win and stuff. Like, super generic anime, like, dude bro.
Very, like, toxic masculinity, posturing.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah. But it's still so silly and goofy, you can't help but kind of just be like,
And then they all just get along and they all go back to Chie's bar and they hang out and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's not any, like, super big stakes or anything, and it's just them living life, and I love this.
Yeah, this was fantastic. I highly recommend it. There's a lot of stuff, like, we skimmed over the basic plot.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you just hear our summary and you're like, oh, that sounds pretty good, you should check it out. It's got a lot of humor to it. It's very relatable in a very real sense. It's just great. And if you're a fan of Isao Takahata's work, you know, definitely check this one out. It's got a lot of that, like, family dynamics that his films are known for. And this one's also a lot more lighthearted than some of his other films. So
yeah, Grave of the Fireflies is,
cough,
you
cough.
know, is
not lighthearted.
The happiest movie in the world.
Right. But yeah. This was phenomenal. I really loved it. And the interesting thing to note for this one is that about half a year later after the release of this film, Takahata also directed the anime.
Yes.
That came out with it. And it ran for 2 years
64 episodes.
64 episodes. Yeah.
So, like, this was successful. People liked it a lot. Tokyo Movie really loved it. They kept going.
And it got another reboot in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, that's what I saw, too.
And then, like, there was another film adaptations that looked like in the early 2000s.
Really? I missed that. I
think I saw that. But yeah, this was fantastic. I highly recommend this.
Absolutely.
If you like
this is a movie that I just
films.
never heard of before. It's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of big influential movies...
And going on down the feels train.
We are finally leaving Japan for the year of 1981.
That doesn't mean the pain is going to stop.
Because it's time for Disney to give us a movie, finally in a while. We're going to watch The Fox and the Hound.
Okay. Let's go.